Hi, I'm Angeline. I am in a noisy environment, which is the beach. I'm at Zuma Beach, Pacific Ocean, California. I brought my son here because it is the end of school and I promised to take him and a friend to the beach. And the weather's perfect, and I thought this is a great time to share some thoughts and some stories with you and some photos of a recent trip out to the Verde Valley. The Verde Valley in Arizona. You sound like a tourist if you call it the Verde Valley. You have to call it the Verde Valley. Just like you can't say Prescott, you have to say Prescott. So whenever I'm at the ocean, I think about migrations because people we know traveled by boat up and down the coast. That's why the Baja California, Central American, South American, all of North American coasts are such a dynamic environment for native groups because there was so much trade and travel easily accomplished by boat along the coasts. And so the very dynamic environment. But the people of the Southwest proper were also connected to the coast. And whether or not tribes from the last, say, few hundred years actually identify as coastal people, there is a lot of progressive thought that there was either origins at the coast for some, at least the Gulf of Mexico and or the Pacific Ocean, or there was travel throughout. Definitely the human speakers, all the pies, the pie, the Yavapai, anybody that ends with pie is a human speaker who seems to have originally, long time ago, come from coastside. So there's a lot of swirling around, and when we're talking about the Verde Valley, there's a lot of influx. And during the time around the 1200s or so, there was a lot of influx from the north, the Kayenta area, and there's a lot of influx from the east. That would be the people who were the Sinagua. And I love these words, Kayenta, Sinagua, they don't really describe the people. They really describe more of an idea of a wave of migration. You know, these people, some of them are the people that say, they're the Hopi's ancestors, this kind of thing. So, all this is a preamble to talk about clan symbols. I visited a cave out in the Verde Valley. I won't be specific, near Sedona. It was a rock shelter that was not wallpapered. It was plastered with many images of this particular clan symbol, which I am not aware of, and I would really love it if somebody knows which clan symbol this is, if they would let me know what it is. But it has this unique characteristic of looking like wavy lines, like watermark, like a long snake with a head at one end, but then kind of this 5-pronged tail at the other end, if I'm reading it correctly. But I'd love some explanation as to what clan symbol this is, and what's the symbolism? Why is it made the way it is, if you know the answer? But also, if you have a clan symbol or you know specifically of certain clan symbols, it would be very cool if you pop on over to my Instagram and leave me a DM. Send me a picture. And it's Angeline Duran _P, like Paul. And it'll be down in the description of this video. Hop over there and leave me a message, and maybe I'll share a collection of photos of clan symbols just for everybody's enjoyment. Or you can go on over to the Facebook group, Ancient Southwest is the name of the Facebook group, and hit me up over there. Share the clan symbols. I'm pretty curious. So what I'm going to do is show you photos of this particular rock shelter that I visited. It was right along a creek. Lots of waterfalls fell into the shelter, lots of seeps. And of course, this one particular clan symbol kept showing up, but there was beautiful pictographs all throughout. And I'm going to read you a story of the migrations from Fourth World of the Hopi by Corlander. And one more note on the clan symbols. Spider Grandmother told people You're going to go on long migrations. You came out of the Sipapuni, but you're never going to see it again. You're going to migrate, and every time you stop, you should leave your mark on the cliffs and the rocks to let people know who was there before. And now the Hopis began their journey, traveling eastward. They camped at night and went on in the day, searching for signs to guide them. Some of the people saw a shooting star one night, and they turned southward to follow it. Others turned one evening to follow a red cloud, and when the sun rose again, they were nowhere to be seen. Some saw the corn silk rays of the setting sun point northward, and that's the way they went. Some saw birds flying in a formation that resembled an arrow, and they followed the arrow's flight. Others saw a glow at night on the peak of a distant mountain, so they left the main party and traveled in that direction. A time came when the Hopis were scattered across the land, one group separated from another, but all looking for the place whose name they did not know yet. This is the way the great migrations began. In those ancient days, there were no clans, merely groups of relatives or friends traveling together. One of these groups arrived at a place where the carcass of a bear was lying. They paused to look at the dead bear, wondering if it was a sign that had to be understood. Their leader thought about the matter and finally said, "Yes, there is meaning to this. The meaning is that from this time on we shall be known as the Bear Clan. His name will distinguish us from all other Hopis." After the Bear Clan people rested there a while, they went on. Another group that was following them came to the same carcass. They cut strips from the bear's hide to make forehead straps for carrying heavy loads. And before they went on, they took the name Strap Clan to distinguish themselves from others. More groups followed the same trail. Some people saw a bluebird pecking meat from the bear's carcass, and because of this, they gave themselves the name of Bluebird Clan. Some came and found that although the bear's carcass was decayed, there was still grease on the eye sockets of the skull, so they called themselves the Grease Cavity Clan. Others who arrived at that place saw a gopher digging a hole beneath the skeleton, and they became the Gopher Clan. Another party arrived and saw a spider spinning a web across one of the eye sockets, and these people took the name Spider Clan. And when the bear's bones were already bleached but still visible, yet another group came that way and saw a spruce tree growing through the skeleton, and for this reason took the name Spruce Clan. Because all of these clans acquired their names at the place of the dead bear, they considered themselves bound together. But after leaving the bear site, they did not all go the same way, and some traveled faster than others, so that much time passed before they met again. During these long migrations, some children were lost in the canyons, through which the people passed. The canyons were searched from end to end, but the children were never found, and at last the people had to go on. But a strange thing happened. The children were still alive, and they wandered from one place to another, eating wild berries and roots to satisfy their hunger. Eagles living on the high cliffs watched the children soaring overhead to keep track of them. They felt sorry for the children and sought to comfort them. Sometimes they brought food and laid it on the ground nearby, and the children began to think of the eagles as their own people. They listened to the eagle calls and imitated them. One morning they awoke and discovered that they had turned into eagles. They flew into the air and perched on the high cliffs. In later days, if Hopis caught a small eagle, they brought it home in a cradle board. They washed its head and gave it a small doll just as though it were a human child. As for the Bear Clan, it went northward, stopping whenever it had to plant corn and make a temporary village. When it had renewed its food supplies and rested, it went on. How many villages the Bear Clan built and left behind in its northward migration is not known, but in time it reached a place where it had to turn back because the summers were too short for the blue corn to mature. The Bear Clan chief said, "Now we cannot go in this same direction anymore. This is what our corn tells us. We must seek what we are looking for somewhere in the south." Again, the Bear Clan migrated, built temporary villages, and abandoned them, arriving at last at a place called Moenkopi, meaning running water, and there they rested again. How long the Bear Clan remained at this place is not known, but while they were still growing their corn there, they were joined by the Spider Clan, the Strap Clan, the Bluebird Clan, and other related clans. All of these clans put their marks on the rocks and cliff sides as a record of their journeys. I'm going to cut short this chapter at about half because it can go on, and it actually gets a little bit into the politics of how the different mesas were settled by which clans and why, and I think that's slightly outside the scope of the narrow topic of this little podcast video episode, sort of surrounding clan symbols and the migrations in general. I hope you enjoy this slideshow, and please tell me some things that you know about migrations and clan symbols in the comments. That would be amazing. Just tell me anything. Teach me something. Maybe you learned a little something from something I've read or something you've seen here, or maybe you recognize some of the imagery on the rocks that you've seen in this slideshow, and you can elucidate the story that you see. Let's make this a discussion. That would be really, really cool. All right, well, thank you very much for stopping by. But don't go away just yet, because there's a little extra bonus for you. I have a little mini story coming right up next. It's a bit of a commercial, but it's also a little bit of information that you might enjoy. Just watch. The blue deer helps the seeker find enlightenment. The blue deer leads the pilgrim to the peyote flower. As the medicine begins to merge the human with interdimensional wisdom, the blue deer appears in the fire. I made this blue deer for you in the style of the Huichol of Mexico, the peyote eaters. Tiny glass beads are pressed into a mixture of beeswax and pine pitch, the traditional way. This blue deer can be found in the Etsy shop, linked to it through theancientsouthwest.com.